hammock, and big and little English Burdette walks up. You'll see Nally's sign in the back, and we had all of our trucks lined up there. Like I say, I was 13 at the time when they were filming that, but my dad put together most of the trucks and stuff that was in all that.
Appreciate you. Hanging out, brother. What's going on, Mutha Truckers? Hey, we have a great one for you today. You know, if you don't understand the reference of this car and this Kenworth right here, then you might not like trucking. I don't know. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, we got a long way to go and a short time to get there. So if you don't understand that, then I know you do. So every trucker out there, when this truck gets on the road, the CB goes wild. Everybody wants to talk to the Snowman. Everybody, you know, everybody knows. And no, there's no Coors beer back there.
You know, just in case DOT is watching this, right?
Just in case.
You know, please introduce yourself.
I'm Tyler Hambrick. I live here in Newnan, Georgia. I'm one of the co-managers of Snowman's Run to benefit wounded veterans. We traveled around the country with this and a lot of our friends and a lot of cars. We do car shows and events like that to raise money for charity, and we're a 501c. I don't make any money off anything that we do. We give it all back to the veterans, because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here.
I love that. No, I appreciate that. You know, let's talk about that, because behind the scenes a little bit, you know, there's a reason that you keep this alive. A relationship that yes. I heard that you have with Burt Reynolds and the family. Is that right?
Well, we were friends. You know, we'd done a lot of events together. As a matter of fact, we were honored to be in the last public appearance he ever did before he passed. And he was just as nice and just as, you know, helpful and kind then as he was the first time I met him. He always had something nice to say to us and help us and support us in any way that we did, because he loved Jerry Reed. Jerry Reed and him were just best buds. They went way, way, way back. So Burt and I always had a joke. I always say, well, you know, we're Snowman's Run, but we like you too. And he would laugh and say, yeah, I love you too, Tyler. So we were just kind of cut up like that.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, no. Do you mind? We got to check out this iron right here. Let's talk about it, and let's see. Now, is this the actual one from the movie set, or what are we looking at today?
No, it's not the one from neither is the car. You know, there's no car. We don't even know where the truck are. You know, the trucks are located. There were several trucks in the movie, or the trailers. They're all gone. So whatever, you know, UFO is taking them off. That's not true.
I hear you.
This is a 1979 Kenworth. It's an A-Whopper 900, and it's 3406 Cat. I've had it now for over 10 years or more. And the trailer is a 1971 Great Dane, 40-foot reefer. So she's been many a mile. She's been anywhere from Boston to Denver to Key West. So it's been all over the place, and we keep it on the road with donations and things like that to keep it going.
No, I love it. No, it's beautiful. Yeah, let's take a walk around, because I mean, people are just honking you down the highway 100%.
Yeah, we can't go anywhere. This is like a magnet. So when I was building this thing back in, I think it was 2008, a trucker came in where the trailer was, and he was looking all over this thing, and I was like, "Oh, you like Smokey and the Bandit?" He goes, "Huh?" I was like, you like Smokey? He said, no. He said, this trailer, man, this is a 1971 trailer. I was like, yeah. He said, it's still on the road? I was like, yeah. And he said, I'm checking out the trailer. I like Smokey the Bandit too, but the trailer's what drew him in here. So the image was actually, I called Universal Studios and asked them if there was an image of this, and they said, well, no, actually there's not. It was a watercoloring that was done, and the watercoloring was actually used in another movie called The Villain. You can actually see it in the movie, but that was destroyed. So they didn't have any image of this at all. And so when I talked to them, I asked them, well, we're going to try to recreate it by stealing it off the movie. And they said, well, you can, but you better change at least 10% of it for legal things. So I had a really good friend of mine, Greg Vassar, who was a graphic artist. He took it off the movie and created the image. Actually, he created the image for my models because I build little trucks.
Yeah.
And he built it for that. And when he did it, he said, Tyler, this image is good enough to do a real trailer. And I was like, what'd you just say? He said, we can do a real trailer with this, not just a model. And I was like, you're kidding me, right? And he goes, no. Next thing I know, there it is. So,
oh, so, you know, for all the loving fans out there, try to spot the 10 little differences. Give us a clue on one. Give us a clue on one.
Well, the 10% is basically the sky.
Okay, we're giving it away.
And that's the first thing Hal Needham said when he saw it. He said, you changed my image. And I said, well, we had to do that. Well, we changed a few other things too, but the story behind this graphic is so funny. It's because I talked to the guys that kind of created this, and I was like, so for a long time, nobody knew what the rabbit was over here on the end. And they said, well, we were all at a party, and he said, actually, we were drinking and we were having a good time, and somebody said, hey, you know, you don't have any animals on this thing. And the guy says, okay, so we threw a rabbit on there. And then I said, well, what is with the blue thing? And he said, well, that's a canteen, because somebody else said there's no water, so we put a canteen in it. So
that's not how that came about.
So I was like, this is crazy. So he said, so we decided to put the rabbit on there. We decided the rabbit can get held up too. So he's got his paws up. So
I love it. I love it. No, this is beautiful. Yeah, is there any other part of the truck that you'd like to talk about?
Well, actually, I talked to the guy that painted for the original movie, and I asked him, you know, several questions, and he was like, well, I used to paint billboards. So they gave me this image, the drawing, and he said, paint it on there. And I walked around and painted it on the other side too. That's why it's the same on each side in the first movie, but in the second movie, they're mirrored. They're all, you know, they're facing different directions. So I think don't quote me on this, but I think it was maybe two trailers at least. I know there might have been more than that done for the movie.
Yeah,
and I think there was like 3 trucks. If I'm wrong, don't quote me on that either. But because I'll get hate mail. But I know there was a 73 because it's got the gold on it. I wish Adam DeNino is my driver, long-term driver. He lives out in Nebraska, and he knows everything there is to know about the Kenworth and stuff. So, and he's actually done a lot of work on this one. So I want to give him kudos for that. So
love it.
Love you, man. So
no, that's great. No, that's awesome. And then how about this Trans Am here in the movie? Any behind the scenes stuff? Because I know you did your research on everything. So can you let us know a little bit about the importance of this Trans Am?
Well, actually, Hal Needham, people don't realize that the Trans Am in the movie was a production car. It wasn't a special edition car just for the movie. There was actually the story behind this basically is Pontiac came out with an LE limited edition in 1976, and this same color theme, and it was so popular, and they couldn't release it again in 77. Because it wasn't a 50th anniversary anymore, so they just called it a special edition. So that's what you see in the movie, is a special edition, and black gold pinstripes, snowflake wheels, has a small engine in it. I'm laughing. I'm kidding.
I love it. No, this is great.
But the thing about this car, because a lot of these people are young now, they don't understand. But back in these days, gas was sky high. Does that sound familiar? Muscle cars went away. You couldn't buy a 400 4-barrel car, you know, they were just gone. Trans Ams were about the only muscle car really left that gave you that option. So these cars, you know, were laying rubber and doing all kinds of stuff like they did in the movie, and they got really, really popular. So Trans Am sales went sky high after Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh yeah. Introduce yourself.
My name is Russ Yeckel, good friend of Tyler's. I met him through this truck here. He had talked to somebody and happened to come by my place one day, and we got to talking, and I told him that I was actually fortunate enough to be in the convoy scene when they filmed the movie. My dad had worked for Nally then, and if you go back and look at the movie, you'll find Nally's name a lot in a lot of places. I think it's like, you know, maybe 20 different signs, 18 or 20. One's at the little choke and puke where the toilet paper is hanging off Jackie Gleason's. This is when he comes out. You'll see Double A's truck out front, got Nally on the back of the tailgate and all. And in the beginning, when Burt's laying in the hammock and Big and Little English Burdette walks up, you'll see Nally's sign in the back. And we had all of our trucks lined up there. Like I said, I was 13 at the time when they were filming that, but my dad put together most of the trucks and stuff that was in all that.
That's incredible. So you're a piece of history, film history.
Yeah, it was
trucking
cool.
film history.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I'm third generation in my family that's a trucker. So my dad drove for a long time, and then he sold Peterbilt's for 20 years. And then I worked for Peterbilt, and I went out on my own. I've worked for various different companies, but it's
how cool bragging rights is that you could say your old man built a lot of the trucks on that movie set.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not many people can say it, and the few people that are left aren't, you know, so many people's died through the years. It's been quite a while now, you know. So when I was the day they did the convoy scene, it actually took 2 days to film that convoy scene because it was so foggy that day. The weather didn't cooperate too good. So my dad let me stay out of school and go with them up to Georgia, up to Georgia 400, and he used to work for Refrigerated Transport, the old RTC company with a penguin on the side, and it was the third truck in the convoy scene, and I actually got to ride with the driver that day when they were doing the rocking chair scene in there. You know, I just sat in the passenger seat. I was kind of like out of sight, you know.
That's amazing.
It was pretty cool. You know, at the time when it happened, it didn't feel as cool, right?
No,
it didn't. I mean, it's just another day, you know, because I kind of grew up in an exciting life, meeting a lot of different people with my dad, you know. He was pretty instrumental in trucking. So, but it was, it's more of a blast now than it was then, looking back on it, you know.
That's amazing. No,
yeah.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
No, thank you for your time.
Well,
that's awesome.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.